You've met a mouse, right, but have you seen one up close? They have a more interesting life than you think. So here are my poems about mice. The Field Mouse by Cecile Frances Alexander. Where the acorn tubbles stand, where the ash tree sheds its berry, with your eyes so round and merry, scarcely moving through the grass. Field mouse, I can see you pass, little thing in the what dark den, lie you all the winter sleeping, till warm weather comes again. Then I see you peeping round about the tall tree roots, nibbling at their fallen fruits. Field mouse, do not go, where the farmer stacks his treasure, find the nut that falls below. Eat your acorn at your pleasure, but you must not steal the grain. He has stacked with so much pain, make your hole where the mooses spring. Underneath the tall oak tree, pretty, quiet, harmless thing, play about the sunny meadow, keep away from the corn and house, none will harm you, little mouse. 3 Blind Mice by Thomas Ravencroft. 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They run after the farmer's wife, she's cutting off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as 3 blind mice? The Little House by Elizabeth Goldley. In a great big tree, there's the nicest little house that could possibly be. There's a tiny little knocker on the tiny little door, and a tiny little carpet on the tiny little floor. There's a tiny little table and a tiny little bed, and for a tiny weeny head, for a tiny little blanket, a tiny little sheet, and a tiny little water bottle for tiny little feet, a tiny little eater down, a tiny little chair, and a kettle for the owner when he's there. In a tiny little ladder, there's a tiny little thermos bottle for a tiny little greedy man who knows the woods of Pottle. There's a tiny little pig for a tiny little hat, a tiny little dove, and a tiny cat. If you got a little house and you keep it spick and span, perhaps they'll come live in it. Tiny little man is extremely shy, but if you find a crumpled sheet or pins upon the window, you'll see marks of tiny feet. You'll know the reason why.